you get Teofimo back is a 9-figure contract deal.
Okay.
ESPN over $100 million, and I'm still getting paid $1 million a fight, while all these other fighters that have not even done a quarter of what I've done and I've accomplished in the sport, they're getting 8, 10, 12, $15 million. So obviously, I'm the black sheep of the industry. Anyway, you get.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, shouts out to two-time welterweight world champion, retired future Hall of Famer, Showtime Sean Porter, and the Porterway Podcast, as they hosted two-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, now the reigning WBO junior welterweight world champion, superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez, on the heels of Teofimo Lopez dominating and defeating former undisputed junior welterweight world champion British superstar boxer Josh Taylor via unanimous decision last night. Teofimo Lopez, as I stated in my last video, you could go back and watch my last video about Teofimo Lopez continuously to take to social media and do interviews immediately following his dominating performance over Josh Taylor and tell the world that he was going to retire. Okay, I told you that Teofimo Lopez was not going to retire. He is 25 years of age. He's 19 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 13 wins by way of knockout. He is 25 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach. Teofimo Lopez is not going to retire. Teofimo Lopez is extremely smart right now. He stated that he made a whopping $1 million for this fight with Josh Taylor, which is absolutely ridiculous. And Teofimo Lopez, as you can hear in his interview, he states that in order for him to come back to the squared circle, he's going to need a major figure, double-digit millions-dollar figures to bring him back, as he should. He says there's guys making 10, 15, 20 million dollars, and they haven't done half as what he's done. And he's 1,000% correct. Out of the 4 horsemen, the new 4 horsemen of this era, Devin Haney, undefeated, undisputed lightweight world champion, superstar boxer with a record of 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. And then you have undefeated 3-division, 5-time world champion, superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis is 29 wins, no loss and no draw, 27 big wins by way of knockout. He is 28 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. And then you have King Ryan Garcia, who is the junior welterweight, former lightweight title contender, Mexican superstar boxer, who is now 23 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 19 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. They're all made upwards of $5 million in their career. Teofimo Lopez can arguably make a case that he has accomplished more than all of them, outside of the fact that Devin Haney is the undisputed world champion. Teofimo Lopez would have been undisputed world champion had the World Boxing Council, better known as the WBC, President Mauricio Sulaiman, board of 32 members, have stuck by their rules. You had 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko. He had a mandatory. His mandatory was Devin Haney. He opted not to fight Devin Haney. The WBC created a franchise title, which allows the current champion to avoid his mandatories. Essentially, he's vacating the belt. You can't win or lose the franchise title. It's an award. It's an acknowledgement. And then the mandatory gets elevated to the super champion, which was Devin Haney. So when Teofimo Lopez back in October of 2020 took on and defeated Vasily Lomachenko and became the unified champion, in all reality, if Lomachenko would have fought his mandatory in Devin Haney and he would have won, he would have been fighting for official undisputed. But he wasn't, because Lomachenko essentially vacated the belt. And then the WBC, they decided to switch their rules and say they was awarding Teofimo Lopez the franchise title. Okay? So he was never officially the undisputed champion. But if the WBC didn't create this new rule that there was only actually one franchise champion in the history of sport of boxing, and that's Vasil Lomachenko. They attempted to franchise 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer who was the undisputed super middleweight world champion in Saul Canelo Alvarez when he had a mandatory in Jamal Charlo. And Canelo Alvarez, he essentially vacated everything because he completely left the division, and Jamal Charlo was elevated to the WBC super champion, and he's still the reigning WBC middleweight super champion. This is the same scenario and situation Devin Haney was in, and he received the WBC super title. So Teofimo Lopez was never recognized as the undisputed champion. So Teofimo Lopez, he beat Vasil Lomachenko in dominating fashion. And then he just dominated the former undisputed junior welterweight world champion in Josh Taylor. And Josh Taylor, once again, he's never lost his belts in the ring. He was stripped of his WBC, IBF, and WBA titles due to inactivity, and the other ones he vacated not to have to be forced mandatories on him. So he only held the WBO when he fought Teofimo Lopez. But he was officially the undisputed world champion, unofficially, should I say. So Teofimo Lopez, he defeated, in all reality, 2 undisputed world champions in Lomachenko and in Josh Taylor. So he's accomplished a lot within the sport of boxing, very much so, at the tender age of 25. And so there's no way possible that Teofimo Lopez is only making $1 million. And as he stated, he needs double digits to come back. He needs 9 figures if he's going to come back and grace a square circle. And I agree with him 1,000%. And he stated that that's why he is considering himself the black sheep, because he's getting the short end of the stick. Now, when he initially stated it, he referenced the black athletes, the black boxers, and said they're getting all the preference. And that which got overlooked, everything he was trying to say, and got a lot of momentum because he singled out a whole race. That's why. But Teofimo Lopez, for the Lomachenko fight, after he beat him, he should have been making upwards of at least $3 million. There's no way $1 million Teofimo Lopez should have been making to fight Josh Taylor. Now, he did get upset and lost to George Kambosos, and he didn't look great against Sandor Martin. But there's no way possible that Teofimo Lopez is a draw. Let's be honest. He's a superstar in the sport, and he should be making more than $1 million. So the fact that he's only making $1 million with Bob Arum, ESPN, and Top Rank, and ESPN is the worldwide leader in sports, and they have an endless pit of money, Teofimo Lopez should be fighting on pay-per-view, and he should be making big money. No doubt about that. So I told you guys Teofimo Lopez was not going to retire, and that was an overreaction by the media who fell into Teofimo Lopez's, post where he said, thank the sport, he's retiring on top, right? They all bit into it, okay? And I told you Teofimo Lopez was not going to retire. He simply stated he needs some time off. That's just trying to force the hand. It's business of Bob Arum, ESPN, and Top Rank, or wait his contract out, okay? He's either going to do one of the two so that he can get big money, because there's big fights, major fights, and he shows up in the big fights. So there's no doubt that Teofimo Lopez has some major fights after defeating Josh Taylor, how he did so easy, and defeating Lomachenko, knocking out Richard Comey. No doubt he's a major draw. Can you imagine Teofimo Lopez versus Gervonta Tank Davis? Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney for a showdown. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. There's major fights Teofimo Lopez has at his disposal, and he understands that, and he's going to use it as leverage right now, as he very well should, point blank and period. So he deserves to get a major paycheck for major fights, and he deserves to be on pay-per-view, because one thing's for certain, two things for sure: when there's big fights in front of him, he shows up. When there's lower level, no disrespect to any other boxers, but he don't really show up in those fights because he fights to the level of his competition. But when you put a big name in front of him, Teofimo Lopez shows up, and he shows up in the big way. So he deserves to use his current stature and his newfound fame as leverage to get the money he deserves, point blank and period. And he deserves to be on pay-per-view from here moving forward, because, again, he shows up and he's entertaining. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like your shitty videos. That's all I got for y'all. It's your boy Blue. Peace.
Stacey Baumgartner, you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.